Okay, I thought I'd do some more videos talking about the individual episodes of the new Twin Peaks series. So let's jump right in. First off, episode 1, we're going in order. I wonder if there's any significance to the fact that you can't see Laura's face in the clouds at the start of the opening of the first episode, but you can see it in episodes 2 through 4. I'm assuming that it was just that they didn't have room for it, maybe didn't feel like they needed it in the opening. I don't know. The overall effect of the opening of the new series is pretty effective. You have scenes from the original series, including the scene where Laura Palmer says that we'd see her again in 25 years, along with shots of the school, the reaction to her death, as well as the photo of prom queen Laura from the school's trophy case. So, without really any kind of dialogue or narration, we're reminded of the basic plot and thrust of the original series. It then launches back into the theme song of the original, Angelo Badalamenti's and Julie Cruz's Falling, with a totally new opening credits sequence, which oddly forgoes listing any actors. I guess Lynch wants to keep his secrets as far as each episode goes. The credits are basically kept until the end of each episode. Why is the first scene with the Giant and Cooper in black and white? The other scenes in the Black Lodge and the Red Room we've seen in the original series, and the later scenes with them that we'll see in these new episodes, as well as scenes in the other planes that Cooper visits. They're all in color. None of them are in black and white. I get the impression that this is taking place somewhere sort of outside that whole sphere in another area, like the twitchy rewinding scenes in the room with the blind woman and the room with the Ronette Pulaski lookalike who's listed as American Girl. I'm also wondering what the significance is of the scratching sound on the phonograph, along with the Giant's cryptic messages. It is in our house now, to which Cooper agrees it is. It all cannot be said aloud now, says the Giant. Remember 430, Richard and Linda, 2 birds with 1 stone. Cooper tells him, I understand, which I guess he's the only one. The Giant tells him, you're far away, and Cooper just kind of fizzles out of existence like an image on an old piece of film. Next, we get our first look at Russ Tamblyn as Dr. Jacoby. He looks like he's in pretty good shape, despite his recent heart surgery. It's good to see him in good shape. He was always one of the quirkier residents of Twin Peaks and a personal favorite of mine. Very complex character. His first appearance gave me my first big laugh of the series as he took off a pair of what I guess are welding glasses to reveal his classic two-tone sunglasses beneath that. That was a nice bit of comedy. In the secret history of Twin Peaks, we learned that he had his license to practice medicine taken away, and that he seemed to retire away from Twin Peaks to Hawaii to write his memoirs or something like that. His beloved Hawaii. This series quickly proves to be much more far-ranging than the original series as we move to New York City for a scene. There we see a glass box built into the side of a high-rise with a portal between the glass box outside and another glass box inside. It's being watched non-stop by a guy named Sam, who switches out memory cards from the cameras set up to observe the box to some kind of central vault or plug into a mainframe or something. I'm assuming it's a mainframe that's downloading all of the images from the cameras and all the information that it catches, or that they catch, and goes through them and examines them using some, I don't know, supercomputer or algorithm, just processed by a supercomputer, something like that. Or maybe live people are watching this, I don't know. But anyway, everything goes smoothly until he's visited by Tracy, who's played by the always extremely beautiful Madeline Zima, who seems very interested in him. In a guard room outside, complete with a very intimidating guard, she tries to get Ben to let her into the room with him, but Ben refuses, saying no one but him is allowed inside. He tells her it's top secret, but I'm not sure if that's an indication from him that it's connected to the government, or if it's just his kind of jokey way of talking about it. She also tries to see his security code when he goes back into the room. And that makes me think that she has some ulterior motive besides bringing him free coffee. And Ben goes back to watching the box. At the classic Great Northern Hotel in Twin Peaks, we get our first new look at Ben and Jerry Horn. Ben's the same, taking care of business from his wood-paneled office with his new assistant, Beverly, played by Ashley Judd. Jerry has turned into some kind of bearded hippie running the new family business, which is marijuana, now legally sanctioned by the new laws in Washington, which makes them lots of more money. He says it's been tripling their revenue. This very short, very funny appearance by the two is all that we've gotten so far in the first 4 episodes. I'm not sure what effect either of them will have on the story at large, but so far they seem to be disconnected from the rest of the action. At the Twin Peaks Sheriff Department, a friendly stranger walks in to see Sheriff Truman, but Lucy Brennan, Nee Moran, is as ditzy as ever and can't figure out if he means the Sheriff Truman who is sick, which is presumably, well, turns out later to be Michael Onkane's Harry S. Truman, the sheriff from the original series, or the Sheriff Truman who is fishing, which is Robert Forster, who was originally supposed to play Harry S. Truman, but now plays his brother Frank in this new series. Mark Frost's 2016 novel, The Secret History of Twin Peaks, revealed that Frank was Twin Peaks sheriff before Harry took over the position, and apparently he became sheriff again after Harry left the job. Harry began drinking heavily after the events of the original show, possibly due to never getting over the loss of Josie Packard. The man who's there about insurance and Lucy can't come to any kind of understanding, so he leaves his card and exits. And I'm wondering if this guy is important, if he's anybody that's going to show up again, or if this was just sort of a throwaway scene to reintroduce us to the characters and give us a little bit of a funny, weird little scene. Will he reappear at some point? Who knows? After a long night drive with headlights illuminating the forest beside the road, we get our first look at Dale Cooper, or rather Mr. C, who is apparently the Cooper doppelganger who escaped from the Black Lodge at the end of the original series. He beats the guy guarding the place's front door, so he's seemingly a very bad dude with darker skin, long, scraggly hair, reminiscent of Bob, and pure black eyes, which I thought was very interesting. He meets some other seemingly bad people and fetches 2 people who appear to be his accomplices, Ray and Daria. Cooper seems to be, since he left the Black Lodge in the original series, or his doppelganger left the Black Lodge, he seems to have built up some kind of network of pretty shady people, and so it'll be interesting to see how wide-ranging that is and how serious his plans are, how far-ranging they are. Back in New York, Tracy brings more coffee for Ben, which I'm assuming this is the next night, because she had mentioned that in the previous scene. But the guard is gone. They look for him, no sign of him. With the guard MIA, Ben lets Tracy watch the glass box with him, which seems like a gross dereliction of duty on his part, to be honest. The absentee guard, along with her suspicious behavior from the night before, makes me think Tracy is part of a concerted effort of some kind by some other person or group to find out what's going on in the room. Seems a little more than idle curiosity at this point. Ben has no idea. Sam has no idea what the box is for. But he heard it's owned by a mysterious anonymous billionaire, but he just watches it. So the guy he replaced saw something in the box once, but he wouldn't tell Ben, or Sam, I'm sorry, what it was. While the two are distracted having sex, a strange white-skinned creature appears in the box. It suddenly crashes out of the box and in a terrifying sequence murders the shit out of Sam and Tracy. I'm not sure what this sequence has to do with the plot, but I theorize the box is intended, or as most people theorize, it's intended to catch some sort of supernatural creature. It didn't do a very good job of holding this one, though. I'm assuming, or hoping, that we meet the mysterious billionaire at some point. I don't know exactly where that's going to lead, but it should be a fairly interesting look. Is the billionaire somebody we already have met? I'm assuming not. I don't remember there being anybody with that kind of money in the original series, except for the Horn family and perhaps the Packards. But even then, I think they would have been small fries compared to a billionaire. So why is the billionaire funding this? What is he hoping to see or catch with the box? Then we move to Buckhorn, South Dakota, where the noisy and flighty Marjorie notices a strange smell coming from the apartment of her neighbor, Ruth Davenport. The cops arrive and talk to the building's shady maintenance man, Hank, who's worried to see them, thinking someone has betrayed him for something he's done. In Ruth's apartment, they find her severed head posed with an unidentified headless man's body. Hank calls Harvey, who he assumed was his betrayer, who is the brother of the building's manager, apparently. He tells Harvey that he has something of interest to them, which Harvey can't have because he opted out of whatever it is that they did to get that, whatever it is they got. I'm guessing Hank is into something illegal, but is somehow related to the main plot, or is this a red herring? Is Hank involved with Mr. C somehow? In Twin Peaks, the log lady tells Hawk that something related to Special Agent Dale Cooper is missing, and Hawk has to find it. Something concerning Hawk's heritage will help him find it. In the original series, Cooper mentioned that if he ever got lost, he hoped they sent Hawk to find him, and it looks like Hawk's going to get his chance. Hawk seems to be the key to Cooper returning to Twin Peaks, but we'll see how that goes. In Buckhorn, they find fingerprints belonging to Bill Hastings, who is the local high school principal, all over Ruth Davenport's apartment. Hastings is arrested by Dave Mackley, his friend and the case's lead detective. Hastings seems to not know what's going on. His wife, Phyllis, also seems to be totally in the dark about what's going on. In Twin Peaks, Hawk pulls case files relating to Agent Cooper. Lucy and Andy mention that Cooper hasn't been seen in more than 24 years since before their son, Wally, was born. Since Lucy was pregnant with Wally at the end of the original series, that puts this at right around 25 years of story time after the events of the original series. Which means that Cooper has been stuck in the Black Lodge for a quarter century. It's kind of sad. It's sort of a gut punch, knowing he's been out of action and, his goodness, I guess, has been out of the world for that long. In Buckhorn, Don Harrison, a state police detective, arrives to help Dave with the Hastings case. Hastings claims to only know Ruth, the victim, in passing. When Bill's story doesn't add up, he wants to speak to his lawyer, George. The police search the Hastings home and Bill's car, where in the trunk of Bill's car, Dave and Don discover a cooler, and under that, what appears to be it's a piece of meat. I'm not sure if it's a severed tongue. I believe Dave comments "woof" when he sees it. I don't know if it's something to do with a dog, which may make some sense since Mr. C is later found with a severed dog's leg in his car. I don't know. Does it belong to Ruth? Does it belong to the headless man? Does it belong to a dog? Who knows? The giant listens to a scratching noise on the phonograph, and credits roll. I hope to see more of him. It'd be a shame to have him here and not use him more. I'd also like to know exactly what his whole purpose was in the original series. That's that. That's that for the first episode of the new Twin Peaks. Enjoy.